Hello there, Toon Army. Absolutely cracking day to be chatting about our beloved Newcastle United, isn't it? The sun's shining on St James's Park, and there's plenty to discuss as we approach the business end of the season. What do you think about Eddie Howe potentially bringing in Liam Delap to strengthen our attacking options next season? And how would you feel if our homegrown lad, Sean Longstaff, were to leave the club this summer? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you're all thinking. There's exciting news on the transfer front, Toon Army. Our beloved Newcastle United are eyeing up Ipswich Town's Liam Delap as a potential summer signing, and this could be exactly what we need to provide more competition for our Swedish sensation, Alexander Isak. The 22-year-old forward has been impressive despite Ipswich's struggles this season, netting an impressive 12 goals. That's no small feat for a player in a relegated side, and it speaks volumes about his quality and potential. What makes this opportunity even more enticing is that following Ipswich's drop to the Championship, Delap's release clause has become active, meaning clubs can snap him up for just 30 million. In today's market, that's an absolute bargain for a young, promising English striker with Premier League experience. What's particularly encouraging about this potential transfer is that, according to journalist Ben Jacobs, Delap's future could be resolved rather quickly once the season wraps up. Jacobs reports that the young striker is prioritising a move to a club that can offer him European football. And guess what, Toon Army? That's us. Thanks to our brilliant Carabao Cup triumph, we've secured at least a place in the Europa Conference League playoff next season. And with the way we're performing in the league, Champions League qualification is still very much on the cards. The competition for Delap's signature is fierce, with Manchester United, Chelsea, RB Leipzig, and even Xabi Alonso's high-flying Bayer Leverkusen, all reportedly interested. But I firmly believe Newcastle offers the perfect environment for a young striker like Delap to develop. Just look at how Alexander Isak has flourished under Eddie Howe's guidance. There's something special brewing at St James's Park, and players across Europe are starting to take notice. What's particularly interesting about this potential deal is the timing. Jacob suggests this could be a quick transfer, possibly being wrapped up shortly after the season ends, and before Delap heads off to the Under-21 Championship. This would align perfectly with Newcastle's preferred approach, as Eddie Howe has always been keen to get business done early in transfer windows, allowing new signings maximum time to integrate with the squad during pre-season. There's also the financial aspect to consider. Unlike last summer, when we were walking a tightrope with PSR, profit, and sustainability rules, we're in a much healthier position this time around. The June 30th deadline for submitting accounts to the Premier League doesn't loom as ominously as it did 12 months ago, giving us more flexibility in the market. For Ipswich, a quick sale would help them prepare for life back in the Championship, allowing them to reinvest the funds to rebuild their squad. For Delap, Newcastle offers European football, a passionate fan base, world-class facilities, and a manager with a proven track record of developing young talent. Just imagine Delap linking up with the likes of Bruno Guimaraes, Anthony Gordon, and Alexander Isak. The prospect is mouth-watering. His ability to hold up play, run the channels, and most importantly, find the back of the net would add another dimension to our attack. Competition for places is the hallmark of any top team, and bringing in Delap would ensure Isak continues to be pushed to even greater heights. What's clear is that this summer is shaping up to be another exciting one for the Toon Army. The club's ambition remains undimmed, and the trajectory under our ownership continues to point upward. Signing a player of Delap's quality and potential would be another statement of intent, showing that Newcastle United are here to stay among the Premier League elite. Does this mean we're getting the deal over the line? It's too early to say, but all the ingredients are there for a perfect match. Delap wants European football, and we can offer it. He wants career progression, and St James's Park has become one of the premier destinations for ambitious young players. The $30 million release clause represents excellent value in the current market, and our financial position allows us to trigger it without hesitation. The coming weeks will be crucial, but I've got a feeling in my bones that we might just see Liam Delap in the famous black and white stripes next season. And wouldn't that be something to celebrate? Now, let's turn our attention to one of our own, Toon Army, Sean Longstaff. The Newcastle-born midfielder's future at St James Park has become the subject of much speculation recently, and it presents a fascinating dilemma for the club. Eddie Howe himself has admitted that Longstaff's future is unclear at the moment. The 27-year-old hasn't started a Premier League match since December, finding himself increasingly on the fringes of the first team. It's a tough situation for a lad who came through our academy and has black and white running through his veins. Reports suggest that Longstaff might be open to a fresh start elsewhere, with Everton showing interest in the midfielder. And now, another potential suitor has emerged in the form of Leeds United, who are set to return to the Premier League under Daniel Farke's stewardship. The prospect of regular first-team football must be tempting for a player in the prime years of his career, especially one who has demonstrated his quality at the highest level. But here's where it gets complicated for Newcastle United, and why this isn't as straightforward as it might initially seem. As we've already established, European Knights are returning to St James's Park next season. Whether it's the Champions League, fingers crossed, or the Europa Conference League, courtesy of our Carabao Cup victory, we'll need to submit a squad list to UEFA. Now, UEFA regulations require clubs to include at least 4 homegrown players who came through the club's youth system. Longstaff ticks that box for us, and with the departures of Elliot Anderson and Paul Dummett over the past year, our pool of homegrown talent has already been depleted. From this perspective, letting Longstaff leave could create a significant headache for Eddie Howe when it comes to registering our squad for European competition. On the flip side, there's the financial dimension to consider. In terms of PSR, profit and sustainability rules, selling Longstaff would be a massive boost for the club's balance sheet. As an academy graduate, any fee received for him would register as pure profit in the accounts. This would give our new sporting director, Paul Mitchell, even more wiggle room to strengthen the squad in other areas. It's a classic case of short-term gain versus long-term planning. Sell Longstaff, boost the PSR position, and potentially reinvest in areas where we need immediate reinforcement, or keep him, potentially as a squad player, to ensure we meet UEFA's homegrown requirements and maintain that connection to the club's academy. What makes this situation even more poignant is Longstaff's connection to the club. Born and raised in Newcastle, he understands what it means to wear that shirt in a way that players from outside can never fully grasp. He's lived the dream of so many kids kicking balls around on the streets of Tyneside, coming through the academy and scoring goals for his boyhood club at St James's Park. Remember his stunning strike against Manchester United on his Premier League debut, or his crucial goal against Southampton in the Carabao Cup semi-final that helped us reach Wembley. These are moments etched into our collective memory as Newcastle fans, created by one of our own. But football is a business, as well as a passion, and difficult decisions sometimes have to be made. If Longstaff is struggling for game time, it might be in everyone's best interest for him to move on. A player of his quality deserves to be playing regularly, not warming the bench, and from the club's perspective, holding on to players for sentimental reasons isn't always the path to sustained success. That said, squad depth will be more important than ever next season, with European football on the horizon. The schedule will be more demanding, with midweek games becoming a regular occurrence. Having players like Longstaff, who can step in and deliver solid performances when called upon, could prove invaluable as we navigate the challenges of competing on multiple fronts. What's certain is that this summer will be a balancing act for Newcastle United. The desire to progress and strengthen the squad must be weighed against practical considerations like homegrown quotas and financial regulations. The Longstaff situation encapsulates many of these competing priorities, and how the club handles it will tell us a lot about their approach going forward. Whatever happens, Sean Longstaff will always be a Geordie lad who lived the dream. Whether his future lies at St James's Park or elsewhere, he's written his name into the club's history, and for that, the Toon Army will always hold him in high regard. Well, that's all from St James's Park for today, lads and lasses. This summer is shaping up to be another cracking one for the best team in the world, with potential incomings and outgoings that could define our next chapter in both domestic and European competition. Keep supporting our magnificent Newcastle United, and I'll be back with more updates soon. Away the lads!